Hello and welcome to another episode of Flavorcity, the Breakers of Chains. I am Ben, your Dungeon Master for this adventure, and we're going to run around real quick and reintroduce our players real fast. So guys, just run around and we will introduce your names, who you're playing, remind us a little bit about yourself. We will start down with Andrea.
Hello, I'm Andrea, and I am playing Bulford Angus Cattleman IV, the Minotaur monk.
Amazing. We'll shoot over to Charlie then.
Hey, I'm Charlie. I'm playing Melis Orpington Nugget, the chicken farmer ranger.
Great. And finally, we'll go to Gingy.
Hi, I'm Gingy. I'm playing Charles Lamont Rividu, the frightened Circle of the Moon druid who lives in a swamp, and that's about all there is to him. Oh, he's based off my grandpa.
Great. So last time our lovely adventurers here each received a mysterious message via fortune cookie via Goose, calling them to the city really just with the tag of urgent. And so they all packed up, made a little bit of arrangement with their homes in order to make their way into the city. And then they started the trek into the city from their different districts outside of it. They met up outside of the city walls, where they snuck their way into the city on a supply truck line, avoiding a gate guard that simply could not be bothered to deal with them, where they then met a little gnomish man named Bert Kindro at Mac and Brent's Cafe. Bart Kindro, not Bert Kindro. He told them about the mysterious disappearance of the sorcerer, the sort of leader of the city, Guy Fiery, and the subsequent decline of the city as the chains took over and the local eateries started going dark. He pulled out the first ever diner menu and presented it, causing a prophecy to glow from the filigree around the different menu items. It essentially just said that 3 heroes would save the city from darkness, wielding the 3 legendary utensils and unlocking the Temple of Flavor. From there, the party made their way from the center of the city, seeing some drones flying far overhead, towards the temple, where they came across some very long lines leading out of some of these chains of these people that are seemingly in almost catatonic states. They tried interacting with some, and they really pretty much just got grunts in reply. They found their way to Leo's Ever Ready A1, where they met Leo, his wife, and his son, where they got a little bit more information about how the city has been just sort of declining and going out and going dark, where everybody is having to work at these chains. And they directed them towards Baby Mueller King's barbecue, which is a few blocks away, where they met Baby Mueller King in his restaurant / home that is beneath a Jack in the Bell sort of conglomerate area. He pointed them deeper into the pit toward the Nine Hells Kitchen, which is the largest eatery within the pit. And they have just left the barbecue joint to begin their descent into the pit in search of the first of the 3 legendary utensils. So, jumping into it, guys, we pick up with you guys leaving the barbecue place, making your way away from the Jack in the Bell towards the pit. As you are making your way further in, you start to run across more and more of these people who are beginning to make their way to whatever shift they are going towards. It seems like we are hitting about the midday shift change, where you have these people in these sort of like very dull orange or green uniforms, making their way in and out of around these blocks, heading either to or from work. It seems like, honestly, kind of hard to tell which one is which because they look just as dead inside either way. So, what would you guys like to do as you are making your way towards the center of the pit? If anything of major consequence.
Can I look around to see if some of those drones are following us?
Sure, make a perception check.
because I just realized we have not been paying attention to that at all.
Fair enough.
We truly said we'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's probably fine.
Let's see. Perception is that. All right. First roll of the day.
Oh,
Hey.
good one.
Oh God. That is a solid 6.
Hey.
We are starting strong. Taking a glance around, giving her a listen. You don't see or hear any of the drones, but you are also well aware of the fact that there is this loud mechanical like hum and banging as you walk past these places that comes from these chain conglomerate things that are sitting on top of these effectively city blocks. So you don't see anything, you don't hear anything, but or you don't see any of them following you. You see them like way up high above you guys, so they are present still, but you don't see any that seem to have taken specific notice of you.
Of all the people around us, they're all lifeless. There's not any who are a little bit more alert.
They all seem to be just sort of like slogging through, sort of dragging their feet, staring ahead on their way to wherever they're going. Anything else specific you guys want to do on the way?
I guess we just keep going.
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good. So as you guys push forward, you haven't necessarily been here before in the city. You guys obviously have been to the city before, but not to this specific part. You are making your way through, and you are following what remains of some signs, just sort of directing you to the pit. That's really all it says on these signs with these arrows, in addition to out in the opposite directions toward the stock pot and the range, and then one towards the temple as well. So following the signs that point you towards the pit, eventually you come to what look like a set of subway stairs, almost like a subway entrance, as you're walking through, and there's a sign pointing down into it that is labeled the pit, as the rest of the arrows go off in the opposite directions of the city. You guys are welcome to wander around some more and explore a little bit more. You can head straight down these stairs, up to you.
I want to pull out the menu and see if it looks any different from the last time I checked it.
Okay. You pull out the menu, which is supposed to give you guys some kind of a signal when you come within range of one of these utensils, or that's Bart's best guess as to what's supposed to happen. And you take it out, take a look at it. Seems about the same as it had been before. There's still like the little bit of glowing from you guys being in the proximity, but it is otherwise still just a diner menu.
Okay.
Well, I guess there's nothing for it but to just go down.
I'm gonna let you all go down first. I'll go behind you,
All right.
as I pretty much am starting to suffer from this heat and all my fur.
Yep. Yeah, it is hot. It has gotten hotter the further in you've gone, and the ground has been sloped slightly as you've been walking, so you've been going at a very shallow downhill grade.
Is it a dry heat?
Yeah, it's a dry heat. We should be thankful for
very
that.
dry heat.
At least it's not humid.
It's a lot of fur to be working through, y'all. He's gonna unbutton a few of his just unbutton the top few buttons from his flannel. Just trying to.
Flannel over all that fur. That's brave.
It's a thinner flannel, but it still doesn't help by the fact that he is a Highland cow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Are the Highland cows like the Scottish like ones that like have all the?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
that's,
ones
I
with,
didn't
like,
even
This
know
whole
that.
time,
That's
this whole
great.
time he's
Yeah.
had like kind of like bangs over his eyes. He kind of has to like angle to look down.
Oh, that's great. That was we recently watched that one Disney movie with Dwayne the Rock Johnson playing like a bull or something, and they had that one Highland cow, like with Scottish. I can't remember what it was called, but we watched that on vacation. I fucking love that movie.
Amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know what that's called. I don't know.
I
So you guys
have-
are
I
heading
don't-
down?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's head down.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right. So you guys go ahead and you begin to make your way down the stairs. These are relatively wide stairs. They're probably about 10 feet wide with a railing that runs down the middle of them. So there's two different lanes of traffic essentially that you can go up and down. You don't see anybody else coming in or out of this set of stairs as you guys make your way down, in spite of the fact that you saw a bunch of them sort of mulling around up top. You follow the stairs down for what feels like it should only be about 15-20 feet, but you end up following it down for 50 or 75 feet just straight down into the ground. And it gets relatively dark right about in the middle, but you can see that there is a orangish light coming from the bottom, and as you make your way down to that and sort of step out and take a good look around, you find yourselves in what can only be described as a pit. It is a massive underground cavern. You can see like a concrete sort of ceiling that covers the entirety of it, which is where you would guess the city sort of extends over the top of it, because this was the entryway that you guys had found. This pit is close to 3/4 of a mile across, just open. You guys are, the platform that you guys are standing on is near this ceiling area of it. So you are looking sort of down into it right now. And it seems like there are relatively steep sides to this pit, with sort of walkways that zigzag back and forth down it, almost like the roads in San Francisco, I'm pretty sure, that cut back and forth sort of back on themselves. This place is filled with this just sort of like orangey red light, and it gets, again, noticeably hotter when you walk down into this area, as it's just sort of like a heat pot with nowhere for the heat to really get out. As you sort of stop and take in everything, you see that there are buildings that are actually built more on top of each other than anything else on the sides of this place. So it's more of like a vertical sort of city area as you go down. And sitting in the center of the pit itself here is this massive, almost like Gothic looking cathedral with these three spikes that reach up and almost touch the top of the concrete, or the bottom of the concrete that covers the pit. And it is wrapped in like this almost like wrought iron, red flames run across it in different sort of patterns. And it is one of the more impressive structures you've ever seen. It is not quite as like massive as the temple that you saw in the center of the city, but it is very, very large. Attached to this ceiling right above this cathedral is this massive machine that has almost like tendrils hanging down from it that come in at weird angles and are sunken into these different spires, and seem to be attaching into it. And there is this rhythmic, very much louder now that you're down here, metallic sort of as something seems to be pumping from this up to this machine. Everybody go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Boy.
Let's see if we can do better.
Okay, that's
21.
A natural 20.
Okay, so all around we did much better.
Hold on. I got a natural 5, and with my modifier that makes it 10.
Hey.
Right. So obviously Charles here is really leading the charge. Charles, you are alarmed. You're used to a good wet heat. You haven't been in a dry pit like this in a long time coming out of your swamp, so you're a little bit more distracted by that. You don't really see buildings this big very often. None of you really do, but your buildings are more the little kind that can float on some swamp water or on some stilts.
Makes sense.
Bulford and Charles. No, Bulford and Mellis. Charles, we just talked about you. You
Oops,
two,
all Charles.
as you look around, see almost like these weird. You see attached to the side of these things, these buildings that are there. Stacked on top of that, on occasion, you see these large, almost like workshop-y looking things that you would recognize to be more of these chains that have attached themselves in this way. But there's almost like this weird like growth on these things in it's the best way I can describe it. It looks like some sort of organic growth attached to it in a couple of different spots. And you can see them sort of scattered around, and they all have this same sort of like pulsing growth on it. But you see drones down here as well that are just sort of like lazily making circles around what is essentially this center column, because it attaches to the ground and to the ceiling. They just sort of are looping their way around, scanning sort of the outside of this crater area that you guys are in. You don't see any people wandering around down here either. Again, a noticeable difference from up top, where there were seemingly quite a few people who were making their way in or out for their shifts.
Is there any kind of signage on that center building?
From here, you would not be able to. You can see what looks like it might be a sign, but you can't make out what it says. From where you're at, it's halfway across the crater, so 3/8 of a mile away, and down into the pit. So it's a good ways off.
So like, this obviously isn't as big as like the temple, like in the main area. But like, considering that we've heard people like at least mention the temple out there, I would say that that's like a very like historical like basis for something. Would it be possible like roll history to see if we know about maybe like a smaller cathedral like this in the areas of the Flavor City?
Yeah. Anybody that wants to can roll history.
I saw my modifier. I'll take my chances not knowing. I'll say Bulford probably avoids the pit on a normal basis.
It's fair.
Mad cow disease and all.
I don't know why I asked for that. I have a +1 to history. 15.
I got a 16 under the thought that maybe Great Dad has told some stories.
Sure. Let's see. You guys, you wouldn't know anything necessarily specifically about this, but you would remember that this city has been built not only on rock and roll, but on it has been built out from when it was just like a smaller township, to bring in the best cooks and chefs from all over the entire planescape. And so while this is not a familiar kind of architecture to you necessarily, there are a lot of very much exotic people who are totally alien to your like little sphere of life that you're used to. So it's not something you've seen before. It's you might have heard mention of this this crazy feat of architecture in the city, but you wouldn't know anything necessarily specifically about it.
That's fair.
Well, nothing for it but to go check it out.
Mm-hmm. Which we
We
want this land. We want the Hell Kitchen.
Yeah. Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, did Hell Kitchen?
I don't know.
I assume it's in this direction.
I know.
I'm gonna start making my way down
Yeah.
towards where the sign we can kind of make out is. So we can take a look.
Okay, I mean the sign is right up, sort of near the building, so you
Yeah.
just need to. Okay, sounds
Do
good.
we want to sneaky deaky this? Sneak up on them with all the drones.
Well, I don't know. When I was looking up top, they weren't following us, so I said we just go for it. We'd be all right.
Yeah, we haven't done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just walking around, having ourselves a good time. We gave somebody an egg the other day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We
Y'all
haven't
want
burned
another
anything yet.
I'll be all right.
All right. Just let me know.
Oh, trust me, I will.
It's
do
not
we
a
wanna
trying
head on?
time just yet.
So we heading towards. Remind me again. Are we heading towards the Nine Hills kitchen, barbecue pit, wherever, or are we going towards this here temple?
I think in the long run we're going with the Hell Kitchen, but short term here.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're the same thing. I don't know.
I guess we'll
I
never know
never
unless
did.
we start walking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try to find like the street signs.
Sure. So you guys go ahead and you begin to wind your way down the outside of this the outside of this pit here, making your way down, doubling back on yourselves over and over again. You generally keep finding signs. They are like a good 6 feet tall, with a bunch of really, really small names written on them and arrows pointing in every direction, because it seems like whoever laid this place out figured, well, you made it to the pit. Now you have to find the specific thing you're looking for. So you get to a sign and you have to stop and read through all of it in order to eventually find through this directory where the Nine Hells Kitchen is, with just a little arrow pointing, and it just keeps indicating that you need to go further down. So as you guys begin to make your way down further,
Do we see any people as we walk through? I know we didn't initially.
you see, as you're going down and you're getting closer to everything, you see people inside of these chains, but that's about it. You see people who are actively working, but nobody else crosses your path as you're going through.
And did they seem generally lifeless?
It's kind of hard to tell from the outside, but from what you can see, they're not moving particularly quickly. They're not moving particularly in a particularly exciting way. So they're just kind of in there.
And do we get any more insight as we get closer to the chains about the growths on the buildings?
Make a nature check.
Okay. Well, 11.
11. It seems kind of alien. It can't really tell what the deal is with it, but it's like this almost fleshy sort of attachment that then snakes its way into the wall that everything is built out of. It's but it's like this sort of like lightly pulsing, almost like gooey, fleshy looking stuff that's just sort of attached to it.
Hate
Okay.
that.
I feel
Yep. Good.
I feel like I know the question or the answer to this question, but like, are there like any like wildlife or like birds like that are like nested in that temple that might be like flying around or anything?
Currently, no.
Dang.
The only things that are flying around are these drones. Which, as you guys are walking, Melis and Charles, your passive perceptions would pick up a just sort of as the sound of two of them get louder as they approach you, and you guys can turn and look and see. They are. This is the closest you've ever seen one of them, and specifically down here, they are essentially like a metal sphere that's about 2 feet wide, with these two like triple jointed arm looking things that stick out of the sides, and they are holding what looks to just be like a metal tray in their hands, or not their hands, at the ends of their arms, because it's all just sort of attached into one thing. But they come buzzing up to you guys and stop, and they're just sort of levitating, floating in front of you. And a little panel slides up on one of them, and a voice comes out of it. And it sounds like I'm going to make it so you can understand it better, but it sounds like just the worst drive-through voice you've ever heard. Like when you go to a drive-through, you just can't understand what the person's saying. But the voice comes up, and it stops, it floats, and the panel slides up on one of them, and it says, "Please return to work."
I'm gonna wave at them.
You wave, and they just continue to float. "Please return to work."
Well, working, huh?
It doesn't say. It just keeps
It's
repeating
just
that.
floating there.
And it just
If we-
keeps repeating that phrase essentially.
Yep, pretty much.
If we keep walking, what do they do?
As you start to try and walk past it, they slide back and float again in front of you, and repeat, "Please return to work."
We are actually on our way to the Nine Hells barbecue pit. We're getting our job interview there. Does it do anything?
No, actually, it just floats there.
I'll walk
Are
towards
we?
it. I walk directly towards it.
You walk directly towards it, and it backs up a little bit, not nearly as fast as you are closing ground on it, so you can get right up to it.
And that just kind of lets me just walk right into it.
Yeah, it's just waiting. I mean, do you want to walk into it, or do you want to walk up to it?
I'll walk up to it, and then if it just it doesn't like move,
Doesn't do
like
anything.
farther back.
Yeah.
I'll walk right into it.
Okay.
Just kind of
you walk
push it
into
a
it.
little bit.
You walk into it, and it like jerks backwards, and it's floating. So it like, and it floats. And then the other one that you guys have now sort of walked past, speaks up and says, "Compliance is required. Please return to work."
We already told you we're going for a job interview at the Nine Hells.
"The Nine Hells kitchen has been closed," and it just holds
since
that
when?
tone. Just holds the tone.
It doesn't answer my question of since when.
Nope.
Now see here, you are not you are a drone, a robot of sorts. I know there are different robots that like to partake and do all this stuff, but you don't seem particularly sentient. So I'm gonna keep walking. I'm gonna go see for myself. And I just kind of
Yeah, we're gonna go
walking.
too.
Oh,
these compatriots of mine are also gonna go check. We all gotta see for ourselves. We are visual learners.
oh yeah, we're learning now.
All right. As you reach up and push it out of the way, as soon as your hand touches it, the one from sort of off to the side behind, the slat on that one slides like all the way up across the top of it, and this loud just siren sound starts echoing through the pit. And the one that you have now taken and pushed out of the way backs up and then yanks the tray apart, so it's holding two halves of a tray, and then starts flying directly at you. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, we finally get to be openly hostile towards something. Oh,
Well, something wants to throw hands with me. I guess I'm gonna throw hands with it.
I wanna take like an extra cloak or extra shirt from my inventory and try and like throw it over the one that's sounding the alarm.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Okay.
I'll use my net as well if the shirt doesn't work.
Okay.
The one that decides to gonna throw hands with me.
I mean, I can throw the net at that one if you want.
Oh no, I was gonna say they're messing with
I
the
figured
bull.
you
It's
wanted
time
to-
for them to get the horns. So
Thank you so
gonna-
much for making that joke.
Oh no.
no, I'm gonna use a horn attack.
Oh,
Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
stab with my horns. Let's do it.
All right. So then I
Squishy
need
dice.
I need a headbutt from you, and I need let's see, what do I need for you? Net and shirt.
Want like a dex check or something?
Yeah. I guess dex check.
That old
and
shirt
then
throw.
Charles, are you? Yeah, Charles, give me a dex check plus proficiency.
Okay.
Because you're proficient with your net.
That's a 19 for the old shirt trick.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, so I have a +0 to dex, but I rolled high, so let's see. What is my proficiency? That's an 18.
Okay. Sounds good. What'd you get on your bonk?
I got a 19 for my horns.
That hits. Go ahead and roll some damage. Oh no.
Bonk it real good, bonk.
Wait, hold on, I know I could do something else because horns are when you hit them, deal an extra normal unarmed strike. Oh, I thought I could do some fun shit. Oh, I have to be running. Never mind.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Good.
Oh no, hammering horns. That's what it is. Immediately after you hit a creature with a melee attack as part of the attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to attempt to shove the target with your horns.
Great.
Nice.
It's about my size, right?
It's smaller than you are. It's
Oh.
like
This goes flying.
we're talking like large basketball with arms. So
Oh, good.
All right, so that's a total of 7 damage.
7 points of damage to it. And then what does it need to do? Make a strength save?
It needs to make a strength DC 13 save or be pushed up to 10 feet away from me.
Oh no. That's a 10.
Is this a strong basketball?
Nope, not really.
Just imagine the little like fan or whatever it's using to move whirling. Just like struggling. It gets
So as this thing opens up and the alarm sounds and the other one starts rushing into you, Bulford, you essentially kind of go, well, and then wham! Slam your forehead into it. The thing goes like clattering backwards across the ground a little bit before it sort of like picks itself up again and tries to reorient itself. It looks like whatever is stabilizing it is all kinds of off in midair.
Good.
Well, as you yank a shirt or a cloak out of your backpack, shake a couple of the feathers off of it and wrap up the other one that is just screeching as Wells whips out of almost nowhere this net and just hucks it over the top of this thing, wrap it up and causing it to, between the two of those things, hit the ground before it sort of brings itself back up into the air and starts sort of like aimlessly rotating with the sound still going off. It's a little muffled because of the shirt, but it is still you can hear through it just sort of the of the alarm. So it's gonna, let's see. The one that is covered in stuff won't do anything. It's covered in stuff, and it can't get it off it apparently. Other than continue to make the alarm sound. The one that is all kinds of disoriented. Let's see. Okay. Rolled a 15 dex check to get itself back in order. And so it gets itself back in order, and then it's going to come at the man that hit it with its face. And is going to try and sort of like slash into you with these halves of a tray. That is a 15 and a 16 to hit you.
Ugh. That hits. Both of them hit.
Oh no.
Oh, my flannel.
Not the flan.
Okay, we can
My
heal you
wife
if need
made
be.
this.
Oh no.
That's a total of 6 points of slashing damage as it goes and chops down into you, and again says, "Please return to work," through the little speaker thing in the face of it. That is back to you guys then. What do you guys want to do? To be totally clear, the one that is covered in stuff is still making the noise, but seems very much confused and disoriented. And the one that got its face rocked doesn't look particularly good. Doesn't look like he's having a good time all around.
And the one we covered in stuff is back to floating now, right?
It's floating, but it is like sort of whipping back and forth
Yeah.
aimlessly.
Okay.
I got something interesting I'd like to do if we don't care about what happens to the drones.
No, I was gonna absolutely wreck this shit.
Okay.
He's gonna
Wreck
throw
it.
hands.
Go all Ralph on it.
So Shalaga lets me, like, as a bonus action, use my wisdom modifier instead of strength.
Yeah.
Would I be able to cast that on the net and use wisdom instead of dex? Or does that fall outside of the purview of the spell?
I mean, yeah, probably, sure, whatever, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to do that to the net that contains the drone, and then I just like to pick it up and swing the drone in the net at the other drone.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Go ahead and make just make an attack roll. It would be your strength plus proficiency with your net, but it'll just be your wisdom with plus proficiency with your net instead. What are the other two you guys want to do?
I'm gonna wait and see if that works.
Or do you want to see what happens here?
Yeah.
I want to watch that happen, and then
Yeah.
as soon as that's over, I'm gonna just start swinging. 3
Okay.
strikes. Pop,
Pull
pop,
out an egg and start eating it while he's working.
Good.
That's an 18.
Yeah, that hits. Let's roll a d4 for me.
Okay. It's a 4.
Okay, go ahead and roll 4d6 because you happen to hit it the right way.
Oh god. 2, 1, 6, so 9, and 4, 13.
13 total points of damage. Okay, so you guys watch as Charles, your generally slow moving friend, goes ahead and he just sort of like whips his hands up and he grabs the net that's sort of gathered at the bottom and he yanks it, and then he like just full out home run swings it at this other drone that's sitting there. And as the two of them collide with each other, the first one that Bulford has so kindly beaten down already, just the metal ball in the net slams into it and crushes part of the side, and it falls to the ground. And the other one, as it slams into it, you hear just sort of like a shuddering in the alarm before the alarm continues to go off through the thing, or through the shirt. But it is now like jerking as it's floating there as well. So Bulford Angus Cattleman the Fourth, you want to start punching it?
Absolutely.
Just speed bag the thing.
Yep.
Go ahead and
Alright.
make some attacks. I'll say with disadvantage because this thing is technically restrained, right? Or with advantage because this thing is restrained, not disadvantage.
All right. First one.
It has disadvantage on stuff.
All right. My unarmed. First one's an 18.
It's
Nice.
You want me to roll damage for each of these individually and then? Or do you want to?
just go for all of them if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use them all.
There's no other immediate threat, so it's gonna be one of those things where
So
you
the
don't need
first
to
one
like
was
ration out hits.
18. The next one is 21.
You got to be 15, so
And then 20. So yeah.
all three of those hit. Go ahead and roll you up some damage as Melis sort of sits back for a second and just starts peeling an egg.
All right. So that's
Takes a bite.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Math is hard. 19
Math
damage.
is 19 points damage as you just yeah, I mean you're pretty sure that it's not you're pretty sure. You're sure that it stops making the noise after the first one. But it makes that's just a satisfying like as you go ahead and you walk up to it and just haymaker and then two more real quick with the other hand, and the thing falls out of the bottom of the net and shirt and starts to just sort of like roll around a little bit with just these dents in the side of it. 3 decidedly fist-sized dents and 1 like large side that's been sort of caved in. The alarm cuts off as soon as that first punch lands, and now you guys are standing in sort of like this. It's not silent, but eerie sort of quiet compared to the ear-splitting alarm that was just going off right next to you. Everybody go ahead and make a perception check.
Natural 20, so 25.
10.
And yeah, I want to go pick up my shirt and
Mhm.
look around at the other drones.
17? 17.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch shirts.
Yeah. Charles, you're busy extricating the thing from your net so that you don't rip anything and trying to make sure that you don't get any holes in your nice net. So as you fold it up and put it back away.
My magic net.
Yeah. The other two, you guys take a look around and see that the alarm, however short it was actually going for, seems to have drawn some amount of attention from some of the other drones that are floating around the area, because it seems like there are now several of them that are headed your way.
Define several.
Fair question. From what you can tell right now, there are 6 more of them coming towards you.
Okay. I pull out my maul.
As Bullford's switching from a red flannel to an orange flannel now. Again, made by his wife.
Yeah.
He's buttoning it up. Now, I'm down for some more punching. I'm very upset with the whole having to change my wardrobe after my wife painstakingly made these. But I do think we might be stuck here. There's a lot of drones and there's a lot of them up top, and who knows? I think we should just run for it. And whatever we catch, we just take them out on our journey to the 9 hells.
Run down there. All right.
Yeah? What do y'all think?
Yeah, more we're gonna go on a while. I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds to recover the 6 damage you took.
Yes.
Which that's literally the lowest I can roll.
How many? I guess I'm not super smart, but with my perception, how many of the drones are in this cavern? And like, is it
Total?
6 the total, or like have they
6
all?
is the number that are heading in your immediate direction.
Are there more who are just still ignoring us?
The 6 are the ones that seem to have been the closest to you that are heeding the call of the alarm coming towards you. There are dozens and dozens of them that are flying around through the rest of the cavern. You see every once in a while, actually, with your 25, that it looks like some of them are going like up towards this large mechanical thing that's in the ceiling, and then coming back away from it, or going in or leaving from it in some way.
So while I'm all for running, I do wonder if, like, only the closest were alerted. I mean, it was a loud siren, so I don't know. But if we run, is that just going to alert more of them? And then we have a bigger problem.
Well, I think it's kind of, we haven't really seen anybody, so I don't know who else the alarm would be really referring to.
Well, I just think if we start fighting all of them,
I'm
beating a few more to death, which I am particular for. But we start fighting, there's gonna be at least one of them that's gonna sound yet another alarm, and we could be here fighting these things for a while.
That is true. I think.
Trust me, I think
there's
the crunch was very satisfying. But
oh, we're real fucked it up. I gotta get that axe down.
So what's the plan?
I guess we run.
We take them down as we go, but we're gonna head on to the Nine Hells as quickly as possible.
All right.
Wait, is it still like
too lost?
Are we still like heading straight down and like we're going through all of these like curves and whatnot?
Yeah, it's like a back and forth all the way down the thing.
Would it be possible?
You guys can like run the perimeter more if you want to. You've just been taking the most direct route down so far,
and that still like is like a lot of curves and whatnot. If somebody like had like some type of climbing speed and was big enough to carry other people, could we like just like avoid all that and just go straight down?
Yeah, probably.
You guys,
if somebody had some kind of climbing speed, Moon Druid, what could you be referring to?
Yeah, I was thinking I could turn into a giant spider and you can just hop on and we can fucking book it.
Yeah,
sure.
Let me look at the stats for giant spider real quick.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could probably make that work pretty easily.
Oh yeah, I usually have 5 e-tools pulled up, but where they took it down, it kind of, yeah.
So you want to go giant spider then?
Yeah, bonus action giant spider, and then I'll just let them hop on and we'll fucking book it.
Hop on, but the chickens start going. They're just a little suspicious of the very large spider.
I feel like that's fair.
I would like to eat it, but it is too big.
So your Triton friend just sort of like gets down real quick and then expands out into this giant spider, larger than you, Bulford.
That was a weird thing to watch.
But you guys can hop on if you want to as the chickens start to grumble at it. So you guys go ahead and you get on the giant spider. You begin to make your way down the outside of the pathways, sort of like going over them all the way down. And as you make your way down, you can look up, and the 6 that were coming towards where the alarm was sounding off, 3 of them break off and start to follow you guys down the outside of the wall, as they seem to have noticed you literally running down the wall at full speed. The other 3 of them continue towards where the alarm had sounded. But you guys are making good time down this wall. Technically, they are not catching up to you, assuming that Charles is going like full dash the entire way there.
Yeah.
But
unless they get in like 60 feet within 60 feet of me, which if they do, I'm going to shoot some web at them. If not, I'm just going to full dash.
they are holding a distance of about 60 feet behind you. But because you guys are moving at the same speed,
That's a tough one.
they are just keeping pace with you. However, you do hear back up, specifically you being Melis first, and then quickly after that, Bulford. You hear the sound of a new alarm starting, as the other ones seem to have made it to where you guys destroyed their buddies and then left them laying on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Oh,
we didn't think that
yeah.
one through. Oops.
That's fair.
So what do you guys want to do?
Do we think
Switch
it's
to
precedence?
Could I have picked one of the drone bodies up?
Sure.
Okay. Just want to take a look at it further, but not while we're being pursued.
Well, you'd have a hard time doing it on giant spider back going 90 straight down. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Going 90 to 90.
Yep.
Pretty much. So you guys, you do have, by the magic of, by movie magic, you have a drone body with you. Again, it's a large basketball size, so it's not the easiest thing to just sort of carry around. But you hear the sound of 3 distinct different alarms going off up top from where you just came from, and beginning to sort of spread out. And then there are the 3 that are pursuing you straight down. As you glance back, you can see them all. They all are pretty much the exact same makeup. They separate out their trays into these 2 sharp-edged metal sticks, essentially, and are pursuing you guys down. Anything in particular you want to do other than just book it?
So I have some more clothes, including the shirt I picked back up. I'm gonna cast. Wait, let me look. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
And they're 60 feet back though, so that won't help.
Unless you want to Looney Tunes, throw it and just wait for it to wait in the air and then come by.
Try to time it so it just throws it up in the air by the time they.
Yeah. Right.
Which there's 3 pursuing us, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's 3 pursuing us. Okay.
Yeah.
Which they're probably still going to be pursuing us when we get to the bottom. So I'm going to hold off on any webbing attacks until we reach the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll wait.
I was gonna say I'll look out towards the bottom to see if there's any side alleys that we might be able to sneak our way in to try and.
Okay, make a perception check.
22.
Well, that's better than 6. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you taking a look down, Melis holding off, sort of keeping track of where they are behind you. Charles running full speed down the wall in his big old spider body. Bulford, you see really the almost awkward sort of shift from the straight down on the wall to the flat of the bottom of this pit, because it looks like this pit was excavated at some point, and in turn it looks like they just sort of picked a bottom and they made it flat with no real regard for how it interacted with the rest of the walls, because they didn't necessarily think about building stuff on there. So there's this awkward space where buildings are almost touching each other at a from the ones that stick out and the ones that come up from the ground, and there's sort of this channel that runs in either direction, which they're flying above you, but if you cut under there, you would guess that you could probably at least break line of sight and then start to weave your way through buildings on the actual ground in order to keep it, keep them out of immediate range of you, if that's what you guys want to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Okay. Sounds good.
Try
So
to
you go ahead.
explain that to the giant spiders.
just screaming at the spider.
Actually, I don't know what type of snail does this. I got some noise before.
They're spiders. I don't think they really make noise. It's up to you.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like a little.
Uh,
But that's about it.
Skitter.
There you go.
Nice.
Grr. So
Aw,
you
shit.
go ahead and you hit this sudden change in trajectory and peel off to the right. As you guys break contact with, or break line of sight with these things, I need a stealth check from everybody.
Oh my god, thank god. I have a +7 to stealth as a giant spider.
You sure do.
Good. I got an 8.
boy.
15.
Oh no, not an 8.
Yeah.
I got a
1 for each leg.
17.
Okay, good.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and you break line of sight and immediately hook around the building that you come to. You can hear them. You can hear the drones buzzing up behind you. They catch you just as you make this corner, and then Bulford, in a moment of somehow both communicating with this skitter spider and channeling your time on the farm, helping bring everybody in at the end of a long day, you go ahead and you sort of grab the front left shoulder of the spider and pull on it. And Charles, you end up going straight up the wall of the nearest building, so that you try and you get up above it. You guys are hanging there and waiting as these things go and fly underneath you before they slow down and stop and look around and then begin to slowly float their way back, twisting in the air, seemingly looking around for you. It seems you have avoided them for now, but they are actively looking for you in this area. Is there anything you guys want to try?
Can we see them at all?
Yes.
I was gonna say, when they were passing us by, were they in a single file line or were they in a group?
They were in sort of a triangle, essentially. As they were coming through.
like a V pattern, like birds.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are two of them sort of facing out a little bit, and then there's the one in the front that's facing forward.
How far away are they?
Now they would have gone about 45 feet past you before slowing down and turning back around and starting to float back. So they're maybe 30 feet.
Okay. What I would like to do is, with my mage hand, take one of my shirts and have it drape over one of them, but I would like to do that in a stealthy way so they don't see it coming. Is that possible?
Sure. I'll say make a sleight of hand check
Okay.
for your mage hand.
That sounds a lot smarter than my idea.
What was your idea?
My idea was to take... Because you said they're 2 large basketballs, and I am a large man.
Yep.
Don't
I
get
was going to jump off the spider, one in each hand, and just slam them into the ground.
I mean, you can try that too if you want. You guys can
Ow.
coordinate.
That's
I can hit at least one of them with web, make it at least a little easier,
Okay.
as that will restrain them.
Do you...
How'd that mage hand go?
15.
Okay. Do you want to leap off of the spider and ground pound some basketball robots?
I'll concentrate it on just one,
Okay.
and so the web can get the other one.
Okay. Sounds good. So then,
Because I feel like my chances of doing it to one versus trying to double is good. That's going to come back to bite me in the ass.
fair enough. So we're just gonna call those unarmed strikes. However, we are going to say that we're gonna say that while they're unarmed strikes with your hand to bounce them, we're going to add in both your goring rush and your hammering horns feature as part of it, because you are leaping from like 40 feet off of a building to go whack on him.
Don't fucking die on impact.
You'll be fine.
I'm a monk. I have feather fall.
Oh right, you're fine.
I'll be
Do you have
alright.
slow fall already?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, you sure
Hold
do.
on.
Sure do.
I
Then go
have
ahead and make
I
your
have a lot of stuff.
make your web attack as well.
All right, dope. Let me see here.
But
Plus 5 to hit. Okay, that's 22.
Yeah, that hits. Okay, yeah, so that'll hit one of them.
I just got out with a 15.
Okay, sounds good. So here's how this goes, right? Malice goes ahead and like whisper conjures up her mage hand, gives it the shirt, and it starts to float over the top of it, like out over them, above them, about 20 feet out from you. And then very slowly starts to drop it. And then Wolford, at a certain point, you see that her hand is right about to touch this thing, and you decide to just go and jump off the side of the building. And as you feel the weight come off of your back, Charles, you go ahead and you whip your back end up and shoot some web down at it. So all at the same time, this shirt comes down and wraps up one of the drones. It immediately starts spinning around, very confused by what just happened. There is a simultaneous sound of sort of like as one of them gets caught and stuck to the ground as this stream of web flies out of nowhere and slams into it. And then, of course, there is the large cowman falling from the sky. Did you roll damage?
No, I got stuck up on the fact that it's just
Yep.
whoosh.
Yeah,
Giant whoosh.
pretty much. Go ahead and make an
There it
unarmed
is.
strike damage.
That's 7 damage plus
7
whatever else
points.
you want to do from 40 feet of just straight falling.
Well, 7 points of damage from the actual like impact of you hitting it. Then there is the additional 13 points of fall damage that you would take, but you have slow fall, and it takes from your body slamming into it.
Just
So
pound that bitch into the ground.
yeah, so you jump, and it's about 10 feet off the ground. So you sort of catch it on the way down and just spike it into the concrete.
Oh yeah.
You can't tell if there is a crater in the concrete or if part of it is flat now, but it doesn't get up and move again. So now, Bulford, you were standing there with one of them thwicked to the ground and another one whipping back and forth aimlessly trying to figure out what happened underneath this shirt. Let's see. The shirt one is going to try and... God, Jesus. The shirt one rolls a 4 to get the shirt off of it, so it doesn't get the shirt off of it.
Nice.
And the Wicked one is going to try and not get unstuck.
So you can break it with a DC 12 strength check.
I am upset. I rolled a 10, which makes it an 11, which means that he's still stuck to the ground. It's
Amazing.
back to you three ding-dongs. What do you want to do?
Amazing. How close is the one with the shirt over it?
Right at about 30 feet.
Okay.
You timed it out so your mage hand would still exist when you dropped the shirt on it.
I will take out my longbow and shoot it.
Sure. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay.
Giant spider friend, what do you want to do?
First off, I'm gonna roll to see if I recharge. My web, I have to roll a d6. I re-roll it after recharge on a 5 or 6.
Great.
That's a 3. I don't recharge it.
Cool. No more webs for you right now.
It's
No,
a
we'll see next time.
23 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll
Jesus.
some damage.
Oh, max damage.
Oh
11.
boy. 11 points of damage as your spider buddy presumably starts to head down a little bit. You pull out your longbow from your bag of chickens,
Yeah.
Draw back and fire off. Do you send your chickens with it at all or not?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I'll
Because naturally.
I pull out Captain Featherbottom II and I throw him. And in midair he explodes into just like a fuck ton of other birds. And
Great. So you go ahead
flies
and
at the thing.
you pull out Captain Featherbottom and just shot put the chicken out into midair.
Yeah.
Where he goes and puffs out into a bunch of little baby spectral chickens.
Yeah.
And then you go ahead and you fire your arrow through that cloud as they grab onto it and slam down into the drone with the arrow. How much total is that?
5 points.
5 on top of the 11?
On top of the 11, yeah.
Well, boy, howdy, good news. There's one hole in this shirt, and the thing hits the ground hard.
Damn it, I put a hole in my shirt.
You did. The mage hand was like holding it closed at the bottom, so it was just like it was like a balloon in a shirt for a little while there, and now it's just too heavy for the mage hand to keep holding onto, so it clangs to the ground right next to you, Angus.
Yes.
What would you like to do, Mr. Bulford?
Is the balloon still up, or
The balloon is no longer still up. There is just the one that has been stuckified to the ground.
It's restrained.
It is restrained currently.
I'll just go give it a couple stomps.
Okay. Sounds good. Go for
I'm
it.
tired of these things. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
You keep digging. All right. Anyway. Because it's restrained. Is this because it's restrained? That's advantage,
Yeah.
I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Woo!
Oh, no.
That's a 17.
Yeah, definitely hits.
Oh, that's higher than that.
Yeah, also definitely hits.
That's 16, yeah. Okay.
16 points of damage?
No, that's just 2 hit. I'm just gonna keep all 3, just gonna keep stomping.
Still hits. Just whack, whack, whack.
6, 12, 16.
You walk up to the one that's stuck to the ground and look at it as it like struggles to try and turn up and look at you, and you just like
Oh, I wait for it to look at me.
Yeah.
And as soon as it does, just
eventually it kind of like rotates its way up towards you, and then you just go crunch, crunch, crunch as your giant cowman hoof slams down into it. Instead of just denting it in, you dent, and then punch through it into like the insides of it.
Nice.
As there's just sort of like a sound to it, as it is once again quieter, as these things are not actively following you right now. However,
we
you
alerted
hear-
any new ones.
well, not in the immediate area, but you do hear the now much fainter but still present, just sort of ringing out through the rest of the thing, as it seems like the ones that were sending off alarms have started to chain off to other ones.
Okay.
I say we
But you are
Quickly-
currently out of sight, so
Okay. I say we stealthily continue making our way forward.
Yeah.
Not much else we could do.
Anybody want to get back on the spider?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I say Bulford's a little unnerved because he's never seen something quite this big. Like, the only thing he's seen that's bigger than him has been, like, Goliaths. This is a whole
Yeah.
different ball game.
yeah, this is unsettling.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that it's well, spiders are kind of gross to look at when you get them to this scale. So
Skitter.
I
Skitter,
do
skitter,
want to.
skitter.
Does he have the weird little spider paws
yes,
that they have?
Spider paws.
Okay. That's it. That's all I needed to know.
great. So you guys all hippity hop back onto your giant spider friend.
Captain Featherbottom kind of clumsily flies back over.
Yes, the chicken reconstitute
my
itself
bag.
and like back over to you.
Pet the
I don't
one
know
on my
why
head.
he sounds like an old timey tugboat, but he sounds like an old timey tugboat now.
To you, maybe.
Well, instead of the sound I picked to use there being like a flappy kind of sound, it was.
Yeah. Oh, I heard.
So, it sounds like Steamboat Willie's up in here.
Okay.
So
Well, that there's a chicken on your head while you're on top of a spider.
That's Acorn.
there
Give
is
her some
Acorn
feed.
up. So give me some stealth checks for all you guys if you want to be quiet. If you want to be quiet. Otherwise, you can just
16.
scream. 22, 16.
13.
13. Okay. All around, pretty all right. Especially because I'm rolling like garbage. So, because I rolled a 7.
Good.
We
So-
took out those drones so stealthily. I'm surprised how well we did that.
Oh, hell yeah.
The efficiency was unheard of.
The fact that
throughout
there has
the rest
been-
of this campaign.
There's been one attack made against you so far.
Yeah.
You guys have just successfully, consistently managed to make it that way.
Yep.
And I don't understand how.
no other fight will ever go this smoothly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go ahead and continue your way forward, aimless for a little bit, but you do find a sign again that is another one of these almost like directory looking signs, but there are fewer things on it because seemingly they have presumed that if you made it to the bottom of the pit, you meant to come here, and so you're not looking for things that are way up near the surface. So it's a little bit easier to find the Nine Hells Kitchen listed on there. However, it still takes a minute to go through all the stuff and figure out. You guys are being pointed just deeper into the pit as you are following this. You keeping an eye out. Let's see, particularly Melis with your passive perception, but occasionally Bulford being able to just sort of pick them out. You guys are mostly avoiding the drones as you make your way through. There is the occasion where there is one of them that comes up on you, and it's one of those things where it comes to turn a corner and you guys are immediately met face to face. And there's the pause for a second, and then between the maul and the punching, the thing doesn't have time to even really react. So also, if at any point you want to take more of these basketball corpses with you, you are welcome to do so.
I just want the one, really.
Sounds good.
Do you want a better one? That one looks a little mashed up.
I mean, I kind of wanted to look inside of it and see what was going on.
We could probably get you
So-
a better one that's a little probably less dented on the inside.
Well, all right.
I'll do a little bit more tearing versus denting.
Okay. Great.
Are we just gonna hang these up around the spider or something so that they know not to fuck with us? Is that what's going on?
Yes. Yes.
Oh no. This was a choice that was made. You guys continue to make your way deeper into the pit, winding your way forwards until you reach a massive wrought iron fence that seems to be wrapping in either direction. You can follow it a ways, avoiding the drones as they make their passes, though it seems like they stay relatively far away from this area for some reason. But you can make your way around, avoiding the occasional drone that comes through, towards what is a giant Gothic wrought iron archway, just sort of set in the middle of this large fence that's wrapping around it. This close to this building, the sound of the giant mechanism that's attached to the ceiling is almost deafening. It's so loud because it seems like it is like blasting sound downwards, and you guys are currently pretty much at the base of it, because through this gate you can see the massive cathedral structure that climbs way up into way up into what would be the sky, but towards the ceiling of the place, where it sort of merges with this machine up top. And looking through the gate, that is, by the way, wrapped in a large chain with a heavy lock on it, you can see a sign that is made of what looks like cut stylized metal with this cutout that says Nine Hell's Kitchen in it. Let's see. Charles, how long can you hold your spider form?
I think it's an hour, but let me double check.
Okay, let's see here. 2 hours. Okay. So yeah, you guys are still okay on spider form. You are
I got
currently
2
on
hours. I'm gonna use all fucking 2 hours.
That's fair. It's been about, through all of that, well, it's been a little over an hour, so you still got about an hour on it. 45 minutes ish.
If question, if Charles
Mhm.
had the menu,
Yeah,
and then Charles shifted into a spider,
he's in his spider butt right now. That's where it is. His gear
Is the
merges
butt-
with his form. It's in his spider butt.
is his butt glowing? Anything changing?
Currently,
When he
his
shoots
butt
the
is
web-
not glowing. But
the
I'd like
web
to inspect the butt.
roll an animal handling check for
Oh,
me if you
hell
want to
yeah.
inspect the butt.
Oh hell yeah, that's a 17.
Inspecting the butt of a giant spider, which you've never interacted with before. It might
I
just
also
be
got
the,
a 17.
You also have never interacted with a giant spider before. It might just be the light. It might be some of these markings. It looks like there might be a faint glow coming from his butt area.
Hell yeah.
Because why not? I've lost control. It's all good.
Never had it.
I know. I just like to pretend. There's a vague faint glow coming from the rear end of the spider. What would you guys like to do as you are on the opposite side of this large locked gate?
I would like to tap on Mr. Spider-Man and say, "You think you can climb this fence?"
Skitter. Yeah, yeah.
I forgot about that. It's only been 5 minutes. I don't know how I
Oh,
did.
you go climbing. Oh, you didn't see me climb in this episode, did you? Fun fact: I've never climbed anything in real life because I suck at it.
Oh no. So Charles, you want to go ahead and climb over the gate?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh, well, that's okay. If I get to 0 HP, I just go back to human form.
Charles.
Let's take a look at what these saving throws look like. It's better than my normal saving throw. That's an 11.
Oh no.
An 11. All right. Your
11.
Your spider boy form takes 14 points of fire damage as you go ahead and you grab onto the thing, and your little spider paws, you just hear a faint like as you wrap your spider feet around it, and you get up you get up about halfway over this gate as your spider paws start to burn. If you want to keep going, or you can drop back down.
How much did you say?
14.
Okay.
Wolford is alarmed.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I'm about halfway up. Do I think I can get the rest of the way up before it burns me to a crisp?
Mechanically, you can get the rest of the way up, and then you will take more damage, and then we will go from there.
Try to get to the top and then leap off on the other side if possible.
Okay.
Go, go, go,
Make
go.
make another dexterity saving throw for me.
Okay.
I'll say if we get to the top and he poofs back normal, I'll kick off from the fence and grab onto my two small friends
Okay.
and just I'll take the
Um,
fall damage if any.
Okay.
Fuck you, Ben. Your saving throws, your dice rolls are rolling off. I'll get to 7.
Oh no.
Oh,
Well, this time it's only 8 points of fire damage.
I'm still up.
He's still a spider.
Oh.
And you want to
That-
jump off to the
how
other
much-
side, or you want to
If
start
I-
climbing down?
I was gonna say if he
No, let's fuck it.
You want to jump?
Yeah, I'm not going to survive another round of that.
Fair enough.
Bulford's gonna kind of hold on to Malice a little bit, kind of hug him close.
Oh
Sounds
no.
good. All right.
It's the smell of cooking spider waft out.
Mm,
So,
delicious.
so the fence
Skitter,
itself, it is not 60 feet high. It wouldn't have taken you 60 feet up in the air to climb up that high, because it was hot and it's like just these bars and it's hard to like wrap your feet around. It's only about 30 feet up, so you've taken a little bit more time to get up there.
That is such a high fence. Oh my god.
Yeah, sure is. I mean, this cathedral thing that you're standing in front of is honestly like 200, 250 feet tall. Like it's a
No one
big
needs
building.
a 30-foot fence.
Hey.
So, Charles, make an acrobatics check as a spider.
Of course.
Melis, I'll say make it with advantage as your cow friend tries to make you not
Cradle.
get hurt as much. And Bulford, you can just negate all the fall damage because of how you are.
Thank
A
you for
nimble
the
big boy.
advantage.
That's 22.
21.
22? 21. Okay. So you guys each only take 4 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall instead of what would be 9, as you catch yourselves or have assistance being caught as you hit the ground on the other side of the gate. You still a spider?
You said 4 damage?
4 damage.
Yeah, that's just enough. I'm back saving 4.
Okay. Charles hits the ground and splats a little bit and then reverts into his Triton form.
Mr. Charles, are you hurt as you at all?
Nah.
Oh,
kind of-
no.
I'd say
Good.
it's a pretty haunting image. We're just riding a spider.
Joe,
Hold on to
Joe, look at
you.
my butt. Joe, look at my butt.
Yeah.
Joe, did I see that?
Yeah. Good butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was glowing a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
you have that menu?
Check the menu.
Yeah, check the menu.
Bulford's in a little bit of shock.
As I pull out the menu, I just look back at the fence and what's it? Fuck yeah.
You pull out the menu, you look at it, and the menu itself is starting to glow a little bit. At this point, it is like this a reddish sort of like glow coming off of it. As
Progress.
yeah, you guys sort of stop and take stock for a second, and you realize that it is hot in this area where you're at. It is like Arizona desert hot in the area that we are at, Mr. Highland Coo.
Halfway unbuttoned.
Oh,
Of
Okay.
his
Yeah.
once red, now orange flannel, because the red is destroyed.
Oh no.
And he's just, sweeps back bangs. They just stick there.
So you guys are standing on this like red cobblestoney kind of road, looking forward. You are in sort of this courtyard type area surrounding this cathedral, with the sign in front of it, obviously, that says the Nine House Kitchen. So you can put two and two together to put together this thing is probably the Nine Hells Kitchen. The soaring Gothic architecture in front of you. Now that you are actually up close to it, you can see like little bits of almost like steam coming off of it every once in a while, and there are similar of like those like fleshy growth things sort of like around the bottom of the building, but they don't look quite the same as they did before. Go ahead and give me nature checks, everybody.
It's 12.
19.
Okay.
You would think as a druid I would have perception in nature, but I do not. That's a 9.
Nice.
Oh no. You're still just feeling that fall a little bit. It's
Little bit.
distracting.
It's hard putting all your bones back together.
Yeah.
That makes an iron fence out.
So you guys go up and you inspect these growth things a little bit. And for lack of a better way to describe it, they'd seem like content almost, like they don't seem aggressive in the same way that the other ones did. The other ones seem to be like reaching out and growing onto these things, whereas this one is just sort of like bubbled up against the side of the building. Let's see, Bulford, you got a 19, is that right?
Yeah.
You have a vague sense, being, a good, hardworking farm man, with some solid values, that there are some strange things that come from the other planes. And between that and the other two of you guys sort of helping him put this together, you would think that this is almost... It's become, it didn't necessarily have to start like this. It's become something of like a immune system almost for the pit area, because this seems to be like this building here with whatever's inside of it seems to be the centerpiece, like the beating heart area of the pit proper, which is this obvious pit. And so it is almost like reacting to these foreign things that are coming in and starting to take over parts of it in this weird way. So that's why it's growing in like almost tendrily sort of ways on these other buildings, but here it's just sort of like heaped up against the side of the large structure here. But looking at that and taking a further look around, you can see what by some odd happenstance are like bushes and hedges and trees almost. They're like pretty bare in terms of their leaves, but they look like they might be alive still, sort of in this courtyardy kind of area. And you take stock of the actual building, and in addition to sort of the steam and the closer look at the architecture, you can see some runes carved into the side of it. I don't think any of you guys speak abyssal or infernal.
Nope.
I think it's infernal. I don't remember. It's one of
Nope,
those two
I
things. It
speak
doesn't matter
Sylvan.
because none of you speak either of those things.
Right.
You can see sort of like writings etched into the architecture that's sitting in front of you, as well as a set of massive doors that are... Gate was about, what did I say, 60 feet high? 40 feet high, something like that.
The fence
doors,
itself was 30.
right,
Yeah.
the fence itself was 30, the gate was taller than that, so it was like 45 feet high. A set of giant double doors that are just a touch taller than the gate itself, though a little bit thinner, only about 10 feet wide instead of 20, which is still a massive set of doors. They are closed in front of you, and you hear the loud sort of of the machine above you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do?
What are the drones doing right now?
Make a perception check.
Oh, 10.
Can you...
I was gonna say, when we were inspecting the little like bulbous thing, can I take my like pitchfork non-sharp ends, like the handle, just kind of tap it.
Sure. You tap it and it's just sort of like it just sort of pushes in and then comes back out.
Ugh. Don't like that.
It's like a jelly-filled bag almost.
Ugh.
That made it so much worse.
Yep, sure did.
I regret.
10.
I would like.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, Charles?
I was gonna say I want to try and examine the gate to make sure there's no tomfuckery like there was with the fence.
Okay, so you want to do the doors leading into the building or the gate leading into the courtyard area?
The doors that we'll have to open
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation
if we
check.
go in.
Even with just a 10 on perception, you take a look around real quick now that you guys have sort of settled in here and feel, you know, like you've got your feet back under you, quite literally. Take a look around, and looking back the direction you came, you realize that there is a good 15, 20 of these drones that are floating directly above the fence, sort of beginning to wrap around the side of it, with more of them starting to come in and join this like wall that seems to be around the cathedral area.
So they know that we're in here.
They can
just
see
can't
you,
get to us.
and you've sort of tuned it out at this point because you've gotten used to it over the last hour and a half.
Mhm.
But you realize that they are all sounding an alarm, just a continuous sort of as they form up.
Are there any more coming in from like down the stairs from the outside?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Occasionally, the machine up top has a few of them like leave it and start to wrap, like leave, and then eventually sort of make their way back towards where you are, because it seems like you guys are currently attracting all of the drones in the area to where you're at. But there are no more coming in from the stairs that you came down, which, as you guys have been going through this and can look around now, you can see that there are quite a few different points of entry that all have like a similar sort of like stairway down into the pit kind of vibe. Charles, what'd you get?
14. And that's really good for me because I have a -1 to investigate.
Nice. With a 14, you go up and you take a look at the door, and thinking better of just like grabbing the handle, you go ahead and you like tap it instead this time. And it's hot, but it's not like burning hot the way that the gate was, or the fence was. And so you can tap it, and it's like very hot metal, but it's not so hot that you are going to get hurt from it. It's like if you pick up a pot off the stove, and you go, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, what do I do with this? Because it's really hot in your hand. It's not so hot that it's like actively burning you, but it is very hot. However, the door in front of you is in fact locked, it seems.
Is there a doorbell? Or like a knocker?
There is not a knocker, but there is a very long chain that hangs down on one side of the door.
I would like
What do
to
you guys
pull
want
it.
to do? You want to pull it? Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Okay. 17.
17.
Hey.
You go ahead and you reach up, you wrap your hand around the chain, and give it a big old heave ho, sort of straight down towards the ground, and you pull it down to the extent that you can, and then let go of it, and it very slowly like back up into place before there is a loud sort of boom, boom sound, as it seems you have triggered some kind of loud bell. And as this gonging rings through the area, it rings out 5 different times, and then it stops. And then there's the sound of as the doors start to slowly swing outwards towards you.
Okay.
I think we should head on in as soon as we can fit through the doors,
Sounds good.
because there are a particular number of friends.
Buzzy friends.
Yeah.
Oh, problem bit the hell out of me.
Just
So
so
as the
many.
doors swing open, they actually only open just wide enough for you guys to come through. So about a 3-foot gap. Still takes a little bit to get there, but as soon as the three of you walk through the doors, they immediately reverse course and start to close again, pushing you a little bit in as you go, just because they're swinging back over the path that you're walking on. Walking in, it takes a second to readjust your eyes because even though you weren't in like sunlight outside, it was still pretty bright. And you guys have walked into what is a largely relatively dark room, but still lit enough to not have to deal with like dark vision and all that. So you walk in and you find yourselves standing in a wide open room with soaring ceilings that sort of disappear off into darkness because it looks like it's mostly lit down in this area. There are tables sort of scattered all over the place in here, chairs pushed up to them. Some of them are still just pushed in normally. Some of them are knocked off to the side. Some of them are on top of the tables or broken up in some way. You see this long curving sort of counter opposite the door from where you guys are. That behind the counter you can see open air kitchens, so you can see back into them. Two separate ones where you have where currently you can see some figures moving around in, but more presently, immediately, sort of on this like very, very nice carpet that's been laid out in here, and reflecting the light from these sort of torch sconces that are attached to the dark wooden walls, is this massive golden brown, almost bread-ish looking structure that is probably about 20 feet tall, just set in the center of the room. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. There's this big sort of gross, oily grease stain in the carpet surrounding it. And as you guys walk in and sort of take stock, you see a couple of the figures from back in the kitchen areas make their way out around the counter and come up to this large thing and stick something to it before they begin to turn back but stop and look in your direction. From what you can tell from how far away they are like this sort of like twisted, sort of bulbous looking creature makeup. They don't look human. They look generally humanoid, but that's about it. What do you guys want to do?
Did you say a breadish looking? Like it looks like
Yeah.
a
Looks
loaf
like
of bread?
Looks like bread. Sort of like patched together, but looks like bread.
Oh, okay. I'll wave
All right.
at the new folks.
Okay.
Just want to
You
look
wave at
around
them.
to see if any of them look particularly confused or hostile. Just what they how they perceive us.
Okay.
And I wanna look more at that bread, see if like I can see anything in it that like particularly stands out.
Okay. Well, as Melos goes ahead and waves at them, there is the one on the one side of it shambles forward towards you a little bit and lets out sort of a sound. And as it does that, the other one begins to shamble forward as well. And all of the figures back in the kitchen stop what they're doing and turn and begin to make their way out towards you guys.
Does it seem threatening?
Hard to tell. You're not sure what information was just communicated, but they don't look particularly friendly.
What was the name? What was the name of the guy that ran the Nine Hells? Do we remember?
You didn't get the name of
We
it.
didn't get the name. Okay.
Fuck.
Oh, that's right.
But he was supposed to be a warlock of some
He was
kind?
supposed to be. I remember him. Somebody told me he was a kooky, crazy man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Baby Mueller King said that he was eccentric or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep, okay.
I'm gonna prepare an action. Just if they make any hostile like actions, I guess at us, I want to cast Moonbeam to get as much of them as I can. 'Cause I think it's
Sure.
a 40-foot like cone or whatever.
Oh shit.
It's not small, that's for sure.
It's 10 feet. It's 5 feet radius, 40 foot high.
Was Charles able to see anything more about the bread?
Unless you guys want to get closer to it, currently no.
Okay.
But Charles, as you go ahead and you start to cast Moonbeam, the light catches all of these things as they are walking towards you, and you see, for the first time, much more clearly, these sort of like grayish skinned, sort of bulbous, sort of emulating the fleshy growth things that are outside, with these bits of fabric that seem to be like stuck into their body, a combination of red and blue patches of fabric on them as they're shambling towards you. And when they get within about 20 feet of you, the first one sort of puts up its arms and goes and starts to lunge towards you. And that is where we'll pick up next time.
Uh-oh.
So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week on Flavor City Breakers of Chains.
Oh no.
Gosh, darn it.
I'm gonna hit him with that Moonbeam. I'm hoping